Alright, so I'm going to be doing this interpenetration of this triangular pipe and the square pipe going into it. And what I need to do is to start out by doing some planning. I'm just going to measure off this 80 millimeters on this front view, measure that quickly, make a little mark about 20 millimeters down, make another little mark down there, and I can then draw in some construction lines just coming across over here. Just the top and the bottom of the front view. Right, once I've got that in place, it says that the side length of this is 70 millimeters. Just going to measure off 70 millimeters, go down about 20 mils from the bottom of that front view, mark off that 20 mil, that's 70 mils over there at least, and draw into construction lines coming across there and over there. Once I've got that, I'm going to draw in the line over here coming down over there, and I'm going to draw in a line going out at this 30 degrees over here, and swing that around. I can then draw in a line coming down at 30 degrees over there, and a line going at 30 degrees going up over there. That gives me that triangle. The next thing that I'm going to do is to get the center of this little auxiliary view. Just going to take a line coming out over here. I'm going to set a pair of compasses to 17.5 millimeters to give me my 35 millimeter square that I need. I'm going to come in over there, mark that off somewhere over there. Okay, just give yourself some space. Okay, just a construction line circle with a radius of 17.5. You can see that that's at that 30 degree. If I come in over here now, I can draw in just a construction line there at a tangent, construction line there at a tangent. Once I've got that, I can then draw in, this is an auxiliary view, so not too dark, just a little construction line, not construction lines, but not super dark, just to get you that little square over there. Once I've done that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw in that back line going down over there, all right? I'm going to draw in a construction line coming down over there to show the front edge of this thing. I need to measure up 15 millimeters over there. So measuring 15 millimeters off here. There we go, make the mark at 15 millimeters. Take a line out at that 30 degree angle over there. There we go, just a construction line going out over there. This thing then goes off at, you can see that's at a 30 degree angle over there. So I'm going to go in over here and I'm going to draw a line going at 30 degrees going out there. Right, once I've got that in place, I can take my distance over here. You can see the half that square over there, and I'm going to go in over here, draw in a little line going like that. All right. Once I've got that, sorry, let me just get my brain again. Right, there we go. That's that and that. Okay, there's my 35 millimeters going out there. I can then draw in a line going off at, let's just draw a line going off at that 60 degree over there, from that corner over there. Line going out over there. Let's draw a line going out over there. Draw a line going out over there. Once I've got that, I can take my pair of compasses again, pop that in. There's the center. I can just draw a little circle going around over here to get myself a line that I can draw a tangent to over there. Right, once I've got that, you can see my little square auxiliary view on the drawing nicely, and I can now start labeling things nicely to get all the different numbers on it. I just need to check this. I'm just going to move this up a little bit so that you can see it, see all the numbering. All right. Hopefully everybody will be able to see that. There we go, all in focus again. Right, I'm going to take this back into the drawing over here. So I've got a construction line coming down over there, a construction line coming down over there, a construction line coming down over there, and I'm going to do some finishing off of this thing. It says 34 millimeters coming out over there. Take that, get 34 millimeters over there, take that, measure that off over there, and draw in that line at that 60-degree angle going over there. Right, that's the edge of that story. Right, I'm going to start out and I'm going to say, all right, there is my number 1. Let's put number 1 right up at the top there. There is number 1 on my square over there. I'm going to come in over here, and you can see where that number 1 is going to be. It's going to be this line coming across over here. If I come down over here, I should be able to get that in place. There is my number 1 over there. Okay, number 1 you can see is at that point over there, furthest from, if I had an XY axis over here, furthest from the XY axis over there, furthest from the XY axis. Right, okay, once I've got that, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, you can place that over there. There's my number 1 furthest from the XY axis. Number 3 is obviously going to be this one down at the bottom over here. And you can see from this diagram over here that my number 3 is going to be this one over here. All right, coming across over there. Let's just do these construction lines over here. Right, if that's number 1, that must be number 3 over there. Number 3. Let's get that. Oh, no, don't tell me I've run out of lead in my pencil. There we go. Okay, there's number 3 over there. And number 3, we're going to link up with this number 3 over here. So I'm going to drop a line down over there. There is my number 3 on my drawing over here. Okay, if I had an XY axis over here, 2 is closest to the XY axis, therefore 2 is going to be over there. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be over there. Right, so here is number 4. Number 4 is that line over there. That's number 2 over there. Let's take that down over here. There is number 4. 2 is this one coming down over here. 2 is this one coming down over here. There is number 2 over there. And I can now draw in a line going from number 1 to number 2 to number 3, number 3 to number 4 over here, number 4 going to number 1 over here, and there is that shape of that square. Right, number 4 is going to come out to the triangle over there. Number 1 is going to come out to the triangle over there. Number 2 is going to come out to the triangle over there. And you'll see that they've got hidden detail. Let's just show you over here. There's hidden detail coming across over there. Now this is actually a pipe, or it should be a pipe. Therefore that should actually be a dark line over there. So I'm going to do mine as a dark line and then going into hidden detail. So hidden detail going over there. And then I can still see an edge if I'm looking into a pipe. Right, okay, once I've got that, let's find. First of all, where am I standing? I'm standing over here, I'm looking across, therefore I can see this number 4 line. So I take a line going up over here from that intersection with number 4 entering into the triangular pipe, and I take a line going across over there to where number 4 is, and I label that 4 dash, and I label that 4 dash over there. There's number 1. Number 1 is also on my side, so I take a line coming up from number 1 over there. I label that 1 dash over there, and I take a line coming down over here from my 1 to where 1 dash is going to be. Right, number 2 is on the opposite side from where I'm standing, so it's going to be in hidden detail. I need to take a line coming from number 2, going up over here, from number 2 going up over there, and I can then draw a hidden detail line going from number 2. There we go. That's it. Okay, once I've got that in place, I then say, well, where's number 3? Number 3, I'm going to take a line coming up over here, and number 3 is also on the other side, but I can see part of it coming down to the edge of this thing, so there's number 3, and then this little piece over here is going to be hidden detail from that point over there. Hidden detail. There is my 3 dash over there. Right. Note 3 dash linked up with that. 4 dash, and this is 2 dash over there. Right, okay. Once I've done that, I now need to have a look-see and identify this point over here. I'm going to call it A and B. There is a point at the top and a point at the bottom on that corner. So let's find that on my auxiliary view over here. I take that across into my auxiliary view, and I'm going to call this point over here A, and I'm going to call this point over here B. Right. I'm going to take this distance from 4 going in the direction of A, going in the direction of 3 over there, go up to this, 4 going in the direction of 3, and I'm going to find my A over there. There is my A, label that point A. I then say 2 going in the direction of 1, and I find number B over there. 2 going in the direction of 1, and I will find B over there. Right, there is B over there. I'm then going to take that back into this drawing over here. A coming down from there and intersecting with the corner of this thing. You can see the corner going up there. There is A over there. Okay, and B coming down over here, intersecting with the corner, and I've got B over there. Right, once I've got that, I then say, number 1 goes to B, hidden detail going from 1 to B. B then goes to 2, so hidden detail going to 2 over there. Two then goes to, 2 then goes to 3. 2 goes straight to 3. Let's go straight to 3 over there. Nothing in between them. 3 then goes to A. 3 goes to A. Okay, so 3 going to A. A then goes to 4. A then goes to 4 over here. That will be a dark line, okay, because it's on our side of things. And then 4 goes to 1. No interruptions there. I can draw a line going straight from 4 to 1. Going over there. Right, there we go. I need to finish this thing off over here. I've got the base of this going out to the edge. That goes up to A over there, but there's going to be a small amount of hidden detail over there. Goes down to there, and a small amount of hidden detail over there. And the top of this thing is going to go across from there to there. Right. Okay, once I've got that, they then say you need to draw in the development of the square prism. So I'm going to draw in a line going up over here. I know that the length of side is 35 millimeters. I take my calculator and I say 35 multiplied by 4 is equal to 140 millimeters. I'm going to measure off 140 millimeters as accurately as I can. Bring that in over here to the drawing, mark that off over there, mark that off over there. Right, I'm just going to draw in a construction line coming out over there, a little construction line coming out over there. I'm going to draw a line going off at an angle over there, and I'm going to take my pair of compasses and I'm going to just extend them out a little bit, and I'm going to mark off 4 equal spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, once I've got that, I take my 2 set squares, sliding together, and I'm going to go from that top point over there. I'm going to just slide this back over here, and I will end up with a mark over there. Slide that back, make a little mark over there, slide that back, make a little mark over there. Right, that gives me the 4 equal spaces, and I can now draw in a construction line coming across there, a construction line coming across there, and a construction line coming across there. Right, once I've done that, I then say the shortest distance that I've got over here is this one dash. So I take that true length distance. Note, 1 dash is parallel to an XY axis, therefore 1 dash over here is going to be a true length. I've got 1 dash over there. I mark that off over there and up at the top over there. And I label it. Number 1 number 1 dash, number 1 dash. Right, once I've got that, I then say number 2. Number 2, there's the true length distance from 2 to 2 dash. I'm going to come in over here and I'm going to label that over there. 2 going to 2 dash. Number 3, true length distance from 3 to 3 dash is over there. Coming over here and I'm going 3 to 3 dash. There's 3 to 3 dash over there. 4, true length distance from 4 to 4 dash. There it is. Going over here, 4 to 4 dash. Label that 4 dash and 4 down at the bottom. I then say, what is the true length distance from 4 to A? There it is. From 4 to A, going in the direction of 3. 4 to A, going in the direction of 3. There it is. And I go, there is A, but I need to find where the true length distance from the edge going out. Now there's my edge over there, and you can see I've got this little line going from A over there out to the edge. So I take that true length distance from the edge to where A is, go over here, draw a construction line coming out from A, and I'm going to mark off that true length distance from the edge to where point A is going to be. Note, there is A. Right, point A, very important that you get those points in. Right, the true length distance from 2 to where B is, there's the true length distance from 2 to where B is in the direction of 1. 2 to where B is in the direction of 1, there it is. Going to take a construction line going out over there. What's the true length distance from the edge to where B is? There's the edge going to where B is. There's the edge going to where B is over there. Label that with a B over there. Okay, and once I've got that, I can now say I need to draw a line going from 1 going to B, B going to 2 dash, 2 dash going to 3, 3 going to A, 4 dash going to A, and 4 dash going to 1 dash. Okay, I'm going to draw these edges in over there. Line going from there to there, line going from there to there, a line going from there to there. Note, I'm not drawing lines from the edge to where A and B were. Those are not corners that I'm going to be bending on. That's just to get that height over there. And I draw in a line coming down over here. And then you can just draw a little label over here saying true shape. T, R, U, not true shape. Development, not tree shape. Sorry, I'm getting confused with different sections of work here. So this is development, D, E, V, E, L, O, P, M, E, N, T, of branch. A, N, C, H, pipe, P, I, P, E. Right, and that's that drawing completed. Right, just making a small adjustment over here. I said that this line over here was meant to be hidden detail. Just going to highlight that. This line going up over there is meant to be dark. Okay, that's definitely dark over there. That one will be hidden detail. Right. If you look at it, this little section over here from 4 to where A is, it's definitely going to be on my side. Therefore, I've got a dark line going from the base over there up to where A is, going across to 4.